First, let me take a sip from my hydro flask, and then I'll tell you about the book. Oh no. My puka shell necklace. Oh, milk and honey again. Milk and honey again. I kind of look like an egg, but I'm living for it. I work at a gas station.
Chapter 1. Don't try.
Hi friends, it's Lala. Today I'm taking another trend going around YouTube, dressing like a, acting like a, becoming a VSCO girl video, and I'm making it bookish. Or at least I'm gonna try my best. So VSCO is a photo editing and social app. So your quintessential VSCO girl will have a specific list of items, a hydro flask, she'll be drinking coffee or a pink drink, but only with a metal straw because we're saving the turtles. It's about oversized tees. I think a lot of the VSCO girl aesthetic is putting comfort as a priority, and it's casual, light, natural makeup and hair. So Carmex and Burt's Bees is a thing. Scrunchies, of course. Again, with the comfort, it's all about Crocs and Birkenstocks. Fjallraven bags for some reason. Puka shell necklaces is a thing. Having a Polaroid camera, driving a Jeep, rocking hair clips. You can kind of think of it as the new Tumblr girl aesthetic, or the new basic white girl. Neither of those terms inherently wrong unless you're using them in a derogatory way. For some reason, when teenage girls specifically start enjoying something, the rest of society deems it uncool or cringy or stupid. And to that I say, let people like what they like. I think us 90s girls specifically will recognize a lot of this as part of our childhood wardrobe as well. So we know what a VSCO girl looks like, now we need to figure out what a VSCO girl reads. So I understand the qualifications of being a VSCO girl, but I didn't know specific examples, so of course I went to Twitter and asked you. And I wrote down 10 VSCO girls who have an Instagram or a YouTube that I could pull inspiration from. So we're gonna go through and just keep an eye out for books. And I know just because of the cesspool that is the internet, the first response from people watching will be like, haha, good luck, VSCO girls don't read. And I do think it will be hard to find books, but not because I don't think girls read. I think it's because that's just not what their Instagram is for. I still wear clothes every day, but I don't post pictures of my clothes on my Instagram because I'm not a fashion Instagram. I still eat food every day. Clearly, haha, she's fat. But I don't post food on my Instagram because I'm not a food Instagram. I'm a book Instagram, so I post pictures of books. But I want to read like a VSCO girl. I want to see what they're reading. And yeah, we could have just done this as reading like a teenage girl for a week, but I already kind of do that. Haha, she's an adult who still reads YA. And also, there's no clickbait there. So let's start scrolling. We're starting with Emma Chamberlain, which is controversial if she's an actual VSCO girl, but guess what? I don't care. We've got the easy casual fashion. We've got the scrunchie. There's the backpack. I should also make this an Instagram challenge. Okay, nothing on Emma's Instagram. What about her YouTube though? Now, I know she doesn't make videos about reading, but what if we searched like a house tour, apartment tour? There will be books. Everyone owns books. Nothing in the drawer. What about on that little rack? Nightstand. This is where, if you were a voracious reader, this is where your books would be. But no books. Where else would she have talked about books? Wait, what's she reading during 24 hours without a phone?
Good morning. Oh, sorry.
Oh my god, what are you reading? Oh my god, that's a whole stack of books. I mean, it's a book. We found a book. Okay, we've got the things to do while you're pooing. There's something called Seeing Science. There's something called Magic, and then there's Scary Stories. Is that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, or what is that? We're gonna switch over to someone named Summer McKean. Ooh, one of her very first pictures is in like a comic book store. Why doesn't she have any comments on it? Is she like a controversial YouTuber? Shoot. Okay, we're gonna scroll and we're gonna find a book. Maybe like in a flat lay type scenario, which I feel like I'll have to go kind of far back to find. Those are DVDs. I thought we had something. Maybe she's reading a book on her laptop. We don't know. I do think she has a YouTube. Oh, Summer McKeen exposed. Aww. A day in the life of a teenager. Do you think she's reading? Any books on your nightstand? Oh. Oh my god, books! Look at all the books in her nightstand. Or those are notebooks. Shoot. Okay, she's got Lauren Conrad, a style book, Bobbi Brown, a makeup book. I mean, I like Lauren Conrad as much as the next girl. Oh, what I got for Christmas? Do you think someone got her a book? I have that map. Okay, so I don't know if she actually read it. She owns the book, so that makes it VSCO Girl approved, I think.
Sister Madison got me a kid. I'm LDS and have a Book of Mormon. I want to be able to read it and
Oh no! What have I got myself into? Okay, so she did get a couple books, which is pretty cool. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next girl. Somebody said Hannah Maloke. So let's see what Hannah recommends we read. There's lots of like beach pictures, VSCO Girls. It's very like of a summer aesthetic, I feel like. What do VSCO Girls wear in the winter? Like, do they just hibernate? Cute book bag. It looks empty. Oh, she's friends with Summer McKeen. Are all VSCO Girls friends? Oh yeah, somebody also wrote Ellie as somebody who I should look at. There we go. You know, big shirts, scrunchies. Why did I think the grocery store picture would have books in it? I don't know. Oh, Jeeps too. That's a VSCO Girl thing. Okay, we're gonna go to Hannah's channel. Oh, let's look for a room tour for her too. Amazing. What's in your drawer? I'm not weird. Journals. Books, 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 books. Is that Foolish Hearts? She's reading Foolish Hearts as one of my favorite books. Okay, we've got An Abundance of Catherines, which I've read and I hate. The Fill-In Boyfriend. Casey West is one of my favorite authors. What the heck? I can't tell what that blue one is. Is that a Judy Blume? Is that Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret? Hold on, I'll play that again so you can hear it.
I have a teen Bible. I have a book I'm reading right now, and then I've read these books before, but I just like them and I think they're pretty. And
okay, so am I a VSCO Girl? This is weird. Well, I guess it's not weird because they're pretty popular, like teen titles that maybe I shouldn't be reading. And I've already read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I just don't own it. I'm stoked that she had books, but I can't believe they're all ones that I've already read. I doubt there'll be any more. Okay, next person that you suggested is Haley Pham. Let's see. Oh, she's hanging out with Hannah, so. Oh, she's got that pink drink. I think VSCO Girls are either wearing like big oversized tops or little tiny tops. Oh, there's that brand again that I can't pronounce. Oh my god, I just went back looking in her feed for a scrunchie to see if the VSCO checks out. And her very first picture I went right past right now is her reading a book. Does she say what it is? She does! Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. Oh, and there's the scrunchie. Everything's working out for me right now. She uploaded a video on how she studies the Bible. This is much more religious than I thought it would be. Let's see who else we can't miss. Marla Catherine. She was mentioned a few times. First thing I see, Church of Jesus Christ. Okay. If she's in a bookstore, that's cool. I definitely need to take some type of flat lay and post it on Instagram. You guys are gonna notice right away. There's the bag again. So many bookstore pictures. I love it. But tell us what you're reading. Show me your room tour. This is apparently just where to find everything I need. 8 months ago.
Howdy partners, welcome to my saloon. Thing from IKEA.
So many books. What are they?
Other clothes that I just don't wear that often, but I still want. And then books. And then up above it, I have this plant.
That's it? This piece of clothing, this piece of clothing, this accessory, books. Darn it, Marla. I wanted to read like Marla. I truly can't tell what any of them are. Oh, she posted a decluttering thing a month ago. Maybe she'll show books that she like got. I hope she doesn't get rid of books. That's Eating Animals. Wow, I really had to look. This is Eating Animals by Jonathan Safran Foer. Oh, she also has To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which I have read too because I'm a teenage girl, I guess. Okay, my camera's about to die. I'll come back. Okay, so my camera has died. My phone's about to die. My ponytail died. But I don't think we quite have enough. Like, I just want a couple more options. The last couple people that I got told to check out, one of them is Ava Jules. Oh, and she's already friends with everyone else I already mentioned. So I'm just reading from a group of friends. There's the bag. They've all been doing giveaways for this bag. Interesting. Then I was told to check out Melanie Locke. Oh, she's got it all. The bag, the hydro flask, the hydro flask, the hydro flask. Am I supposed to paint or put stickers on my hydro flask? Is that what's happening? Oh, that's a super cute picture. I have already read Milk and Honey. That would have been a good one. Here's my Milk and Honey. Oh, Milk and Honey again. Milk and Honey again. And then the last girl on my list was called Star Freckles. Oh, right off the bat, very VSCO. I hate that I just said that. Oh, she's got, that's so weird, Milk and Honey, and then Ruby Kaur's other book, The Sun and Her Flowers, and then, does it say Dodie? I didn't know Dodie wrote a book. Oh, there's Milk and Honey. That's a cute picture. Oh, there's The Sun and Her Flowers again. Perfect. All right, I think I'm out of people. Now I need to figure out which ones I want to read, what I want to do for this week. Okay, here we have the list of books that I could tell were in all these videos and pictures. Now, if we remove the ones I've already read, here's what we're left with. Now we'll remove ones I'm not as interested in or seem a little too ambitious. The goal is in 7 days, what can I get done? And we're left with something like this. So now we gotta hunt all these books down. It just occurred to me to check Book Outlet, because if a good amount of these are on Book Outlet, we can make this a Book Outlet video. If you don't know, I'm a Book Outlet vlogger friend, which means I make videos for them and I get to order books from them. I want to get that Scary Stories book because I feel like that's definitely, we're in the right season for that. And it's here! Amazing. Next, let's look for Mere Christianity. Oh, they have that too. Oh my gosh, not the same edition, but like it matters. What else? The Sun and Her Flowers. This is probably not gonna be here. If you don't know Book Outlet, it's like discount books, usually not super brand new. Yeah, I didn't think that would be on here. What about the Lauren Conrad one? It was called Style? Oh my gosh, it's here. There's Lauren Conrad Beauty and Lauren Conrad Style. Okay, and then let's see what they have at the library. The Subtle Art. Perfect. In stock. All right, I'll see you when all the books get here. Yay! Good morning. I'm not quite sure how to do my makeup like a VSCO girl, and I know this is supposed to be reading like a VSCO girl, but we might as well try to embody a VSCO girl in some other ways. I do think the VSCO girl aesthetic is casual and summery. It's the more accessible California tanned white girl aesthetic. Now there's only so bronze that I can get because yikes. so pale. But I also have to go to work today. Working as a social media manager, which I feel like is a very VSCO girl approved career. I don't know. And then for hair, I just slept on it. So it should have a little like texture to it. We're gonna read like Summer McKean first. So referencing her, it's like the perfect amount of natural looking beach waves. Okay, I definitely don't look like Summer McKean, but I can read like Summer McKean. Or rather, read like somebody in her life who gifted her this book that we don't even know if she ever read. So I found the audiobook of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and that's what we're gonna do during my half-hour commute to work.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. A counterintuitive approach to living a good life. Chapter 1. Don't try.
So I listened to a little bit of the audiobook. I'm not totally connecting with it yet, but I'm off work and I'm gonna head into the thrift store to see if I can find something a little more VSCO girl to wear. A big t-shirt, a puka shell necklace. We'll see what we come up with. I found a couple of shirts. As a plus size person shopping for oversized clothing, it's pretty challenging. I did find puka shells. There was a lot of puka options, some of them more gaudy than others. I didn't find anything with just one on it, so I'm gonna steal one from here and put it on this black ropey one because they were each like $1. And of course, because I'm a book nerd, I ended up getting some books. But it was actually a really successful book shopping adventure because I found a thriller I've been wanting to pick up. I also found a couple cool editions. These are the indigo ones. I've been collecting them. Then I found Mere Christianity, which was such a shocking find. So I have the same one, even though I already bought it. I know I already bought it, but now I can match Haley's experience even more. Then I found My Not So Perfect Life by Sophie Kinsella, which is one of the only Sophie Kinsellas I haven't read. And it's kind of kismet because this is all about a girl who builds this fake Instagram life. So, not calling anyone out, not saying anything. I'm just saying, this feels like a cool read. Okay, I've disassembled my necklaces and I'm putting them all together. I also cut myself while taking off the thing that was on here, so being a VSCO girl is hazardous. All right, here we go. Let me know if I'm a VSCO girl yet. I've got the Carmax, the scrunchie, the shirt, the puka shell. I have Birkenstocks too, but I don't wear my shoes in the house like you heathens. I also got my package from Book Outlet today. So this should have, what was it, 3 books? First up, we've got Mere Christianity, which is a lot bigger than I expected because I found that tiny copy. This one is still really beautiful. And I mean, if I absolutely love this book, I'll just keep both. Why not? Oh, it's an illustrated gift edition. So it has pictures of like the book's creation, like behind the scenes. So that's kind of cool. The next book, while this is bigger than I expected, this is smaller than I expected. This is Style by Lauren Conrad. I thought it would be like one of those big, like coffee table hardcovers. It's still a coffee table book because like just like Summer had hers stacked. And then another one smaller than I anticipated is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I know that everybody read this like as a kid. I missed out on that apparently. The one that Emma had must have been some type of like bind up, I'm guessing. So those are the 3 books. If you are interested in picking any of them up, click the link down below and my page will show you all the books I've ever bought from there if you want to buy something. It just helps me out because they know that this is where you came from when you go shopping on Book Outlet, which is one of the best book priced sites of all time. So we're gonna go ahead and read Style. I don't think I would have picked this up on my own, but it's not like the wildest idea. I work in fashion and Laguna Beach was one of my favorite shows as a teenager. I think the VSCO girl generation is a little too young for that, so I'm guessing you know her from The Hills, or you just know her as some like well put together celebrity type lady. Though I have a feeling that this book isn't going to reflect VSCO girl fashion very much, which is just interesting. This is definitely equally for people who are fans of fashion and fans of Elsie, is what I just wanted to call her. Because there's like photos and cute stuff. It's a very clean book, like it's aesthetically pleasing. I do like that she's talking about where to splurge and where to save, commenting on that not everything needs to be like an expensive piece in order to look fashionable. I will say a lot of her photos in here look like she does not want to be there. Like, is she being held at gunpoint in one of these? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe this was more useful kind of before the internet took over and you could just find everything out there. If I were to read this book as a teenager, I would find it helpful to see the difference explained right here between skinny jeans, straight leg jeans, trouser style jeans, boyfriend jeans, and bootcut jeans, and flared jeans. I like that she's given examples of where she shops too. So I'm about halfway through the subtle art book, whatever it's called. Honestly, I didn't like the first half. I haven't been enjoying it, but we're just getting to, I don't even know what to call it, like more practical sections of the book. The narrator is great. I'm also halfway through Style, which has been a fine experience. It's a little stupid. I mean, she literally had a section on how to organize your closet, and she said, put your long sleeves with your long sleeves and your dresses with your dresses. Earth-shattering, really. But I guess if you're making a whole book about style, you need to include the basic stuff. But we just got to a section about dating that I'm not loving in general, just because it's very like straight focused. Every time it says like, if you're going on a date, this, find out how tall he is. And just things about the average guy, which, whatever. I'm just saying, women who aren't interested in men are still interested in style. It just could have been a little more inclusive, but also like the sections about the date itself. Find out how tall he is so you don't inadvertently tower over him, unless of course that's your thing, which is nice that it included unless that's your thing. But I just don't think it needed to be mentioned at all. And then this one says, blah, 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 revolves around the amount of skin to expose. Guys generally want to see your body, but that doesn't mean that they need to see the whole thing. I don't know why we care about the datey. Care about yourself. What I am learning from this, not actual style tips, because I just don't care. I think even though this book kind of pretends to be accessible to everyone, it very much is directed to the wealthy woman. What I am learning is kind of like marketing things. Like she has a couple sections about why women love shopping for jewelry, because they don't have to try it on. It's not stressful. It's something they can just like pick out just based on taste and not based on their own body or whatever. And those are just like good things to remember within marketing. Honestly, I'm impressed that I haven't DNF'd this, so I'm gonna keep reading. Steer clear of cap sleeves, which are a tough length to pull off unless this area is slim and toned. Okay, so I finished both books. I know, it's a lot even for me in one day, but the audiobook got really good. So I would never say like don't read the first half of a book because the second half is better, but if you have limited time, I feel like the first half of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck was really repetitive. The second half, there was really specific examples. He used a lot of quotes from famous people. Chapter 6 was specifically focused on like why we as people are afraid of change, and a lot of like self-help nonfiction can get redundant, but this was a concept that I've never really heard before, and I obviously can't reiterate everything that he said, so pick it up. It was talking about how We don't put ourselves out there. We don't strive for greatness. We fear success because it calls into question who we believe we are. Our personalities are so solidified, and putting ourselves out there in a positive way in order to gain recognition or glory or fame or riches or whatever, regardless of how good this thing could be, it calls into question who we believe ourselves to be and would make us reassess our own understanding of ourselves. Who I would recommend this book to is probably like mid-20s, mid-30s, that kind of age range. People who are kind of already in the workforce. There are certain books that I recommend to like before you've even like gotten into the workforce. So this is Little Black Book by Ortega Uegba, and I would recommend this for like anybody right at the end of your like high school or college career. And I think The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is especially helpful to people who are in a transition in their careers or life in general. And then I finished Style, which I would recommend. I don't know the target demographic of this, but I would say it's mid-teens. This is just something nice to gift to like a 9th or 10th grader, I would say. Though I would go right ahead and rip out pages 109 to 112 about body issues and finding flattering clothing, because nobody needs to create the illusion of being perfectly proportioned. It's day 2 of this challenge. I haven't washed my hair in quite a few days, which is pretty on brand, I feel like, for the next VSCO girl we are imitating. Actually, I'm just supposed to be reading like them. I don't know why I keep thinking I need to look like them. We're rebranding this video as like midlife crisis woman tries to look like a teenager. But today we're focusing on Emma Chamberlain. I was not in the mood to put back on my puka shell necklace, so I fashioned a puka shell bracelet, which is driving me nuts because I didn't make it properly. But I also did this so I can take a classic VSCO girl Jeep shot. I feel like Jeeps are a very VSCO girl thing. I have a Jeep, and I know that they like put scrunchies on their thing and leave all their chapstick out and about. So we're gonna do that with my hand holding a book. It's not going to be the book I'm reading, but let's talk about that. The book that I'll be reading today is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I might wait until the evening to actually read this so it feels more appropriate. There's a lot of illustrations in here and not a ton of words, which bodes well for me and this challenge. First up, we need to get this hair up into a scrunchie. It's minimal makeup. I don't have the skin of a 20-year-old girl. I had to put on a little concealer, okay? Oh no. My puka shell necklace. Is this a VSCO girl problem? Or are patterned scrunchies not cute? I have a red one, but I kind of want to put that on my gear shift. Is this another VSCO girl problem? Which scrunchies to wear and which scrunchies to show off? I definitely don't own anything that resembles Emma Chamberlain's wardrobe. She wears a lot of dad shirts and then a lot of smaller shirts. Sometimes she wears a baseball tee. Maybe this could work. Or I mean, if I want a dad shirt, there is my husband's wardrobe. I work at a gas station. All right, it wouldn't be an Emma video without coffee, so we're gonna do that. I brought my reusable cup, which I feel like would be VSCO girl approved, but maybe not because it's not metal. Okay, so my intent with this picture is to show this, but also show my cup. And then I do have like a healthy chapstick collection, but I don't just leave them all in my car, you know what I mean? I also saw some people's pictures and they had this Sun Bum, which I have and I've been using all summer and really like. Apparently that's VSCO. Then we've got scrunchies. Oh, I actually like this. The thing with this picture is I don't want it to be to VSCO. Like, I don't want to have the bag and the hydro flask and the pink drink, because this is the first picture I'm taking and I don't want to give away like what video I'm doing. I want to more subtly reference what's happening. I wanted to start with this one. I'm gonna do 3. I figured, I just bought a Jeep. I just posted the video of me getting the Jeep, so I think people will just think I'm excited about the Jeep and wanting to post a picture in the Jeep. And also I'm purposely holding the white book because my theme on Instagram, it's like so obnoxious to have a theme on Instagram. It's even more obnoxious to talk about your theme on Instagram, but here we are. My theme is white. Everything is white. So at least if I have a white book, it'll look a little matched to my theme. I have to filter this in order to be a true VSCO girl, so you're all gonna catch on right away and figure out that I'm doing something weird. I accidentally bought VSCO too, because I was like, well, I obviously have to use VSCO to edit the photo. So I got the free trial, and then I kept putting off this video, or it took longer to get all the books together, and so I accidentally paid for a full year. So we're definitely going to be using it. All right, let me walk you through my filter decision. I was trying to find one that was really not my normal theme. I found this one called BFF, and I decided to just copy that. So it's kind of like a recipe. So first the filter, which is G3 with a level of 8. And then for exposure, totally different what I normally do. I would usually do a high exposure. This one is a negative 1.5. Contrast again, I would go up. This one went down to a -1. Saturation is fine. Temperature, I always make my photos cooler. It makes the whites whiter usually for me. But this one, the temperature was warm. The tint was up. Skin tone, I don't even understand. It was a -1. And then the grain is the one that I have a hardest time to get on board with. I don't know why anyone would want grain on their photos, but it's apparently a VSCO girl thing, so we're going at a 2.5. And that's it. That's the photo. Also, just for fun, here's the original photo. Here's how I would have edited it to fit in my theme. And here's how I'm editing it for the VSCO girl challenge. So at risk of sounding like the dumbest person alive, I didn't realize what scary stories to tell in the dark was. I thought the title was maybe a little hyperbolic, not totally representative of the book. You know how, like, let's think of an example. A Brief History of 7 Killings isn't actually a brief history. It's actually one of the biggest books on my TBR shelf. Or like A Manual for Cleaning Women isn't actually a manual for cleaning women. But this is literal. It's scary stories for you to tell in the dark, complete with instructions of how to tell the story. Like this one, the story ends and then it says, "Now scream." Ah! And the stories are not scary. I feel like not even if you were a 10-year-old reading this. I'm confused. One of the stories I liked, but not because it was scary, but because I laughed out loud. That one was The Girl Who Stood on a Grave, if you want a reference. There were a couple other clever ones. Maybe with the jump scares involved, they could be frightening. But yeah, it's not what I expected. I want to see the movie now because I want to see what it really is. What's the point of this video? Have I learned anything about being a VSCO girl? No. Do I feel closer to Emma Chamberlain now? No. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Today, Marla Catherine is our inspo. First up, she wears a lot of jean items. I don't have many of those, so I'm wearing my jean dress, buttoned all the way up. Get the real Marla Catherine look, I need to have big, natural, bushy eyebrows, which I don't. So we're gonna try to accomplish that. I wish I had a lighter color, but that's just what we're gonna go with. Next, her makeup is usually like a peachy coral. So I have my MAC Sushi Kiss. I wasn't gonna go out and buy all new makeup so I could wear the exact same thing. This is about books, so I should tell you the book I'm reading. It's Eating Animals by Jonathan Safran Foer. So this is the only book, right, that I already owned, so I'm really looking forward to reading this because obviously I was interested in it. I think I've been putting it off for a long time because, I don't know, it's like watching an animal documentary. Even if you already are a vegetarian or vegan or are plant-based or whatever, it's not like fun to watch documentaries about animals dying. But I think we do it to like solidify our beliefs. Sometimes maybe we're wavering, but it's just not like fun to read, I don't think. But I'm looking forward to having an excuse now to like really dive in. I got myself some hair clips because hair clips, it's a thing. I haven't worn these since probably 5th grade. Not sure how anybody makes this look cute, so let me know what you think. Again, I don't have the skin of a teenager, though it doesn't look too bad today. Something we have in common, me and Marla Catherine, is we both use simple makeup products. I've used these for years and years and years, and I swear by them and won't use anything else. She's sponsored by them, so it's a little different, but good for her. Also, we both love some big glasses. Again, with the VSCO girl thing, I feel like it's all undersized or oversized. Shirts, glasses, anything like average, normal, medium, no. It's got to be like little tiny sunglasses, which is what I wanted to do with Emma Chamberlain, but I just couldn't find any. Although I didn't look that hard because I didn't want to own any. Or oversized things. So that's what's up. I have a lot to do today just in and around the house. So while I do all that, I'm going to listen to actually the audiobook of Eating Animals. I read the first 20 pages and I like where this is going. It's a little different than I thought, but I am going to take the opportunity to listen to a little bit and see how that goes. So this is a picture I'd like to recreate. I think it's a good amount of VSCO style without being so obvious, like having, I don't know, like a hydro flask in the picture and being really literal with it. I figured since I'm reading it, I might as well try to feature eating animals in here. Need a straw hat. I have this one, which isn't like a floppy summer hat, but I don't know, maybe it could work. I need a ukulele, which I happen to have because Liam's apparently a VSCO girl. Cute. He also just picked up this little cactus for himself, so maybe we can use that. She has flowers in her picture, which I have none of in the house, but I do have some plants. I have this one, and then she's got some Polaroids. This is actually an ad for like this, what is it, Canon printer. I have a bajillion of these Polaroid style photos. Then of course we've got those glasses, so I think this is gonna be all right. Okay, we're going out. We're gonna go get coffee, and I figured we could do a photo while we were out. I feel weird about it. I'm gonna do the VSCO girl face smush, and I brought 2 books that can be in the picture with me, and I'm gonna get a pink drink. Okay, I found my spot. I don't know if the lighting will work, but I got my pink drink. Girl at Starbucks looked at me real weird in the drive-thru. Ooh, hate that a lot, but I'm gonna give it to Liam and he'll probably love it. I wanted to hold the book that Haley was holding, but I think she wears barrettes too. And then the pink drink is totally one of her favorite things. Like I know her. So I've listened to about half of the audiobook of Eating Animals, and it's one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to, both in like actual written story and in narration. So because I have the book, I had no intention of listening to the audiobook fully. I was gonna actually read the book, but the audiobook's so good that I'm just gonna keep listening, and I'll let you know when I'm done. We're on day 2 of reading Eating Animals and living like Marla Catherine. I just want to mention I'm wearing these unironically now. Like, they make me happy. I kind of look like an egg, but I'm living for it. I'm also thinking about starting this. I posted my picture, which everyone is responding to with "You're a VSCO girl," so it's working. And I said I was currently reading this, which was a little bit of a lie, but I am starting it today. But I noticed that she actually wears some NASA clothes. I happen to have a NASA sweater, so I'll throw that on. All right, I have my NASA sweater on, and I'm gonna tell you about Eating Animals because this was great. I'm gonna be honest, I think reading the book is a little dry. If you're into audiobooks, highly recommend. If you've never listened to an audiobook before, make this your first one. This was just kind of the perfect experience because, like I said, watching animal documentaries can be hard to watch, really jarring, but it's always worth being more informed about your choices, being able to recommend documentaries like that to other people, knowing like exactly what they are and being able to have discussion points. So I think this is just a much more accessible version of that. The sections are super well done. The different interviews that he did are amazing. This gave the perfect amount of stats, taught me the perfect amount of things I didn't already know, things that were shocking, isn't trying to sway you in one direction or another. It really is just facts. And he says in the beginning, he's like, I thought I was gonna write a book trying to convince people to be vegan, but like that's not what this is. It's the facts of this industry. And then he interspliced personal experiences, which made me connect to it even more. There are certain things that he mentioned that I appreciated being mentioned, like Indigenous communities who for, you know, however millions of years have not contributed to environmental destruction and have successfully consumed animals and used them for survival. I wish it had gone more into that. As far as VSCO girls go, I do think, you know, the younger you read this, the better off you are, the more informed you are, the younger in life, the better choices you can make. Whether or not you agree with any opinion-based stuff, knowledge is power. So I think this is an awesome thing for teenagers in general to be reading. Good morning! Today is exciting because I'm getting my hair done. Clearly I need it. Gray hair is not very VSCO girl of me. The goal is always to be more ginger than the time before. So I guess we're using Mari as our inspo. I'd love to look like a natural redhead. So I picked out my striped blue and white top, and I'll be taking the Sun and Her Flowers with me, which I have not quite yet finished. I'm also thinking afterwards, maybe I'll stop by Sport Check and see if they have any Fjallraven Konken bags or a Hydro Flask. I'll go for either one. Hi, I have bangs now. I changed my shirt because I didn't want to accidentally get dye on my white shirt. But I'm back to my copper goals. I love it. I'm stoked. And I finished The Sun and Her Flowers. I quite liked it. With any like poetry collection, I think some poems and sections are going to speak to you more. So you can see that most of my tabs are in the beginning half. I love that she writes in sections, so there's like rising, blooming. I think I connect with the ones more at the beginning that are about wilting and falling, apparently. This one had so much nature reference, which, I mean, I guess you could tell just by the title, but I really, hi, nice view of my steering wheel. I really appreciated that about the book. I love references to nature and the world in my poetry. As far as being a VSCO girl, I think this is definitely something that teenage girls are reading and liking. Do I feel like I'm in more of a VSCO girl headspace now? Yes. Hello. It's later in the day. I filmed a video. I have a lot of work to do tonight, so I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done, but we're headed to hockey practice. I'm bringing Mere Christianity with me in case I have a moment to read it, which I kind of don't think I will. What I will be doing is writing a caption for this picture that I'm about to post. I'm trying to decide if I should acknowledge the fact that there's clearly a filter on it. I'm just gonna write it like a normal book review because I have completed the book now. So I might as well just tell everyone it's 5 stars and it was great. And maybe no one will question anything. What do you think? Hello again. So I'm just hanging out at home today. I have no plans to go anywhere, please. I don't know how else I'm gonna be inspired by Haley today besides finally reading Mere Christianity. I have 2 days to complete this and I'm a little disappointed in myself that I left the book that I was least interested to the end because I feel like it's gonna be kind of slow moving. Though really I don't totally know what this book is. I'm making some assumptions. So let's find out the official synopsis. In 1941 England, when all hope was threatened by the inhumanity of war, C.S. Lewis was invited to give a series of radio lectures addressing the central issues of Christianity. C.S. Lewis proves that at the center of each denomination there is something or a someone who, against all divergencies of belief, all differences of temperament, all memories of mutual persecution, speaks with the same voice. Okay, I didn't know that was the intent of this book. This 20th century masterpiece provides an unequaled opportunity for believers and non-believers alike to hear a powerful, rational case for the Christian faith. This book is originally $43. No way. Go pick it up from Book Outlet instead. It's interesting that it references believers and non-believers because I don't know what the intent of the book would be for non-believers. It says an equal opportunity to hear a powerful rational case for the Christian faith. So is it trying to persuade people to follow the Christian faith? I'm really not sure. I'm not religious in any way. I have never nor would ever have any religious affiliation. So while I'm not interested necessarily, I am interested. I will say, how do I say this? I appreciate when young women help to influence their young audience into reading in general. I wish more young people talked about reading. I wish that no matter how many people are already reading, I always wish that people would read more. So I like that in general, books are being mentioned on all of these platforms. We found books. I do wish people mentioned books more, but if they're not already reading a lot, then it's obviously just not normal and natural for them to talk about books. What I have noticed is that a lot of the books mentioned are nonfiction. And I think that's for a lot of reasons. Nonfiction is easy to gift to people. Nonfiction is easy to pick up. You don't need to be aware of all of the genre fiction. You don't need to be aware of all the subgenres and find something that you're truly interested in. Nonfiction and self-help and life advice is kind of easy to pick up. Poetry, in my opinion, is pretty accessible to pick up, but I wish that more young people were reading fiction and talking about fiction, because I think people who are already not really interested in books, seeing anyone else their age just like strictly picking up nonfiction or religious type texts, I think it kind of makes reading not seem fun. Reading religious texts and poetry and nonfiction can totally be fun, and all of those things are valid, but I wish we saw more young people talking about fiction. If there are any young people here watching and you would like some other young people who are actively talking about books, I'm gonna link some, let's say let's go under 21 booktubers that I think you should subscribe to. This community is full of people of all ages talking about all types of genres. So check out Jenny, Mayana, Naya, Keisha, Cam, Cav, Julia, Chanel, Micah, and any others that come to mind I will go ahead and put down in the description for their links. Again, there's nothing wrong with following young people who aren't reading, but I think it would be great if we encouraged the youth of tomorrow to read more. And for the picture, nobody really questioned it. I think most of the comments were focused on what I was actually talking about, like my review of the book, and we were just talking about it and they were giving me their thoughts. And by them, I mean you people watching this right now who were here commenting. I think I saw one thing Lala, are you making your backgrounds darker? I like this photo. Appreciate it. My theme's not changing though. I've already decided after posting this and having not a bright white background. Oh, I can barely take it. Oh, someone did say they like my new theme. Oh gosh. Hello, same spot. I am at the halfway point. So the thing about this is I don't actually mind it. It's talking a lot about morals. And yes, it's talking about like sins, but up until this point, it wasn't at least talking about like Jesus and the devil too much. Now we're starting to get into some other stuff, but I feel like the first half of this is really relatable for like anybody. So I take back everything I said that I don't understand how this is like for believers and non-believers. It's actually kind of interesting. It's talking about I don't even remember what they're called. What's the opposite of a sin? Virtue? It's talking about things that the Christian faith holds important. It's talking about morality, and in my opinion, you should be able to have morals without religion. I 100% understand that some people need religion, and in order to be moral and to make the right choices and to know how to act in their life, they require religion. I think shitty things come from religion, but I don't think that people who are religious or religion itself is inherently bad. So a lot of this is just talking about like how people should behave, and they're interesting to read. Am I learning anything? No. Do I think this is beneficial to a Christian person? Sure. It's kind of explaining like what things really mean. It's talking about sins, and there was a specific part about pride that I really liked. When I hear that pride is a sin, I would assume that you're saying you should be selfless and you should think about other people and you shouldn't be obsessed with yourself and proud of yourself. But that's not really what pride is. There's this whole section that talks about how pride is about thinking you're better than other people. We say that people are proud of being rich or clever or good looking, but they are not. They are proud of being richer or cleverer or better looking than others. If everyone else became equally rich or clever or good looking, there would be nothing to be proud about. It's the comparison that makes you proud, the pleasure of being above the rest. And there's actually this section on Christian marriage, which I thought was really interesting. I don't agree with everything that it said. It was talking about like the head of household. And obviously this is only going to be talking about like straight marriage, and there's a lot of like stereotypes about men and women in marriages, but some of the discussion points were interesting. This book hasn't yet upset me in any way, but maybe that's because I just don't take it too seriously. Oh, also, I just posted my final Instagram picture. I'm a little worried now that it doesn't look VSCO enough. Like I don't have all the VSCO things and I could have gone harder, but you're definitely all gonna think it's a weird picture, because it is. I also look 5 years old, so I have that going for me. The very first comment I got was, this is confusing. All right, reading update. I've got about 100 pages left of Mere Christianity. VSCO girl update. I had to buy a hydro flask. I actually had my kid in the car and he mentioned the fact that I have yet to buy him a water bottle this year for school. Let's invest in some high quality hydro flasking. But I've seen a lot of people put stickers on these. That's a thing. And like friendship bracelets. I actually hold on to all the things that come in book boxes and publisher marketing packages. I always feel bad throwing them out, so I kind of just throw them in a drawer. And I feel like there's some stickers in here. So I finished Mere Christianity. First, let me take a sip from my hydro flask and then I'll tell you about the book. Just kidding, there's nothing in here. And it's ugly and I need to take this off before Liam sees. Oh, my sticker. Mere Christianity had some interesting things to say. Do I agree with a lot of just in general religious things? No. But there's definitely common ground just in humanity. a lot of metaphors. Wow. At one point he was talking about his soul and comparing it to a rat. There was something about eggs. Either we go rotten or get eaten. That's not what it was. Oh no, it was we hatch or we go rotten. Wow. It was about, I don't know, fulfilling your destiny or success or something. What I thought was really fun is he actually prefaced certain chapters with like, don't read this. And it was just, it wasn't funny, but it was clever and it was kind of fun to read, and I don't know who I am right now. I like that he also talked about how like he doesn't know everything and he was just writing a book, and like even some things are unknown to him and he still has so much to learn, and even certain things he's saying he doesn't fully understand the extent of. Parts of it I thought were super cool. Parts of it went right over my head. Parts of it I didn't care about. The rat analogy was actually really interesting, and I recommend you read this just because it was interesting. But the rat thing was talking about reactions, how we only have a certain amount of control over our reactions. And he was saying like when something happens and it catches you off guard and your reaction, like that's the most authentic you. And then how did he say it? He was like, if you opened up a door and there are rats in the cellar, like the rats are there when you open the door. But if you give the rats notice, if they hear you coming, they're gonna like go hide before you get there. That doesn't mean the rats aren't in the cellar. It just means that they and you, metaphorically, are hiding a certain part of yourself or something. So anyway, in conclusion, ooh, what's the conclusion here? Okay. I always make these challenge videos hoping I have some type of like thing to say at the end, and I never do. Here's what happened this week. I read 6 books. These 5 and then The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I didn't hate anything I read, which is cool. I don't have like a new favorite book of all time either. I did give out 1 5-star. I was gonna say I gained something from everything I read, but I feel connected to more of you because I know this is like a quintessential part of your childhood. And in general, this was an interesting place to start with I read like blank for a week, because a lot of the other ones on my list are for the purpose of gaining something. Say like reading like, I don't know, a talk show host for a week, reading like a billionaire for a week. Those have some type of intent behind it, something that I'm trying to gain. This was just following a trend and I didn't really have a goal with it. I don't feel like I understand VSCO girls any more than I did before, but also because these weren't direct recommendations. Who knows where this video series is going to go in the future. I don't have a grand conclusion. I'm sorry. I hope maybe you learned something. I do feel like I pick up some more California girl clothing now, and I have rediscovered my love of Burt's Bees. So it wasn't a total loss. I will see you later. Thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. I will try my best to not make the next one of these an hour long. I don't know what happened. I love you a lot as a friend, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Why are you using CarMax?
Cause I'm a VSCO girl.
Oh, is that what you're doing? I'll take the CarMax when you're done with it.
Robbie just walked in here and told me to put on pants.
And why are you using CarMax? You're a Blistex kind of girl.
It does taste weird.
I'll take it for work though.
Okay.
Let's be honest, who's the real VSCO girl here?